Hello class, this is Sir Dino again, your instructor for this subject. So this is going to be our first lecture video just to discuss to you the first chapter of our subject. So I'll be checking the attendance based on the response that you will be posting at the comment section. So the descriptive title of our subject is individual, dual, and outdoor games or sports. So what are we expecting to learn from this subject? Remember, most of individual sports are done in track and field, so we will have more of that. Ballroom dance is both an individual and team sports, and since College of Engineering and Technology doesn't have dances in their PE curriculum, we have decided to include ballroom dance as part of the individual sport. So magbo-ballroom kayo. And then, we will have table tennis and badminton for dual sports. So we will now proceed with our chapter 1, track and field. So at the end of the chapter, you should be able to trace the historical background of athletics. So later on, we will be discussing the origin of athletics. Paano ba siya nag-umpisa? Saan siya unang nilaro? Yung mga ganon. And then number 2, you should be able to perform the various skills required in different athletic events. So later on, tingnan natin kung paano nyo ma-acquire. How will you be able to acquire the skills that you need in order to play the sport? And then number 3, hopefully, at the end of the chapter, you should be able to attain high level of performance in athletics. So as an overview of the sport, track and field consists of 3 types of events. Number 1, we have the track events. Ang track events is composed of running and walking. And then number 2, we have the field events, which is composed of jumping and throwing. And then we also have the combined events, which is number 3, such as the pentathlon, which is a combination of track and field events. So the name is derived from Greek word athlon or athlos, meaning competition or contest. Track and field is at the core of the Olympic movement and was featured at the first games at Olympia in 776 BC. The popularity of track and field events wavered during Roman times. So yan, umpisang nag-start ang track and field during Roman times. But athletics again dominated the first modern games. Kahit during the time na umabit na siya dun sa modern games, siya pa rin ang pinaka-dominating, kumbaga pinaka-popular more than any other sports. So like any other sports, track and field also has its governing body. The International Association of the Athletics Federations is the worldwide governing body for track and field events, athletics as a whole. So association at the national, state, and local level generally follow the IAFF rules or the International Association of Athletics Federation. But pwede namang meron ding modification. Though modification can exist, depende dun sa mapag-uusapan nila in that particular level. Okay, the Philippine Amateur Track and Field Association or the PATAFA dito sa Philippines is the national governing body for athletics sports such as track and field, road running, cross-country running, and race walking in the Philippines. So you have to remember that PATAFA, that is the governing body of that particular sport in our country, the Philippine Amateur Track and Field Association. So, paano ba itong track and field? Kinakandak lang ba siya outdoor o pwede rin siyang ikandak sa indoor? The track and field events are held either indoors or outdoors. Siguro, pag indoors during the winter, most especially sa ibang bansa, di ba? Pag winter or pag umuulan, yung winter season, or outdoors during the spring and summer. The majority of events are held at the both indoor and outdoor meets. Although there are expectations kasi syempre kapag nasa indoor ka, obviously mas limited yung mga events na pwede nating gawin. So limited space at indoor venues means that yung mga throwing events such as javelin, hammer, and discus are only contested during the outdoor season. So pag spring lang and summer, pwede natin na laruin yung mga sports na yan, yung hammer, discus, and javelin throws. So a smaller indoor track also means that 100 meter is replaced by the 60 meter sprint. So yung sprint natin na 100 meters na ginagawa natin sa outdoor, so instead na 100 meters kapag nasa indoor tayo, ang gagamitin na lang natin muna is 60 meters sprint. Sa track and field, napaka-importante ang measurement. Yan. Kasi dyan natin na di-distinguish kung sino ang mananalo. Okay, accurately measuring time and distance is a crucial part of track and field events. For track events, athletes are timed during sensors linked to cameras and measured using fully automatic time. So, kailangan mo talaga ng timer yan na dapat nakalintin yan doon sa mismong camera. And then for the long jump or triple jump or throwing events, distances are measured using a certified steel measuring tape. So, gumagamit tayo ng measuring tape. Ano pa ba yung mga stick, meter stick, mga ganyan. So, pwede natin gamitin yan especially for long jump, mga ganyan. No? So, measurement is very important for track and field. So, when we are talking of track and field arena, of course, ang measurement na nasa outdoor tsaka indoor medyo magkaiba, obviously. A full-size track usually measures 400 meters in circumference. Yung paikot niya. And has 6 or 8 lanes, yun yung tinatakbuhan ng mga sprinter, and then circles a sports field that contains specific areas for each field sports. For example, dun sa long jump event, yung mga yun, syempre may specific designated area lang siya dun sa part ng field or part ng field. So most tracks have a synthetic rubber or polyurethane surface for year-round use. Yan yung ginagamit natin doon sa track yung tinatakbuhan ng mga sprinter natin or mga runner natin. So, ang material na ginagamit dito is synthetic rubber or polyurethane surface. But for of course, sa mga local areas, sa barangay natin, lupa lang, yung iba, semento ang ginagamit natin. So, depende sa level, kung anong level siya, national level, or local level, state level, yung mga ganun. But, the standard is, it has to be a synthetic rubber or polyurethane surface. Yan. Indoor tracks are usually only 200 meters in circumference. Like, as I mentioned a while ago, mas maliit, mas masikip ang circumference kapag nasa indoor ka. And it only has 4 or 6 lanes. Yun. And then, whether competing indoors or outdoors, athletes always race around the track in a counterclockwise direction. So, kapag yung mga runner, kailangan counterclockwise, hindi pwedeng pabalik na ganun. Ano? Due to space constraints, indoor field events consist only the jumps and the shot put. Okay, after knowing the area or the size of the track and field arena, we will now be discussing the 3 types of crowd. We have 3. Number 1, we have the bullet start, and then the middle start, and then we also have the elongated start. Okay, we begin with the bullet start. The first type of sprint start is called a bullet or bunch start. The toes of the back are about level with the heel of the front foot. Both feet are placed well behind the starting line. The toe-to-toe distance is said to be 25 to 30 centimeters. In this start, your feet are closest together. So, yung left foot mo at saka yung right foot mo, malapit siya. So, ibig sabihin, ang distance lang ng dalawa is 25 to 30 centimeters. Compared to the other start, syempre mas maluwang, mas malayo ang distance niya. Because your feet are close together, your legs and body are bunched together. Mas close siya, mas tight. That is why it is also called the bunch or bullet start. The second type of crouch start is the middle start or medium start. In this, the knee of the back leg is opposite the front foot. The toe-to-toe distance said to be 40 to 55 centimeters. Unlike for the bunch start or the bullet start, it only has 25 to 30 centimeters apart. In this start, the feet are close together than the elongated start. Siyempre, mas close siya compared mo sa elongated start, but farther apart than the bullet start. It's in the middle, that's why it is called the medium start, because it is in between the other two. Okay, so that is the medium start. Again, yung distance between the left foot and the right foot is farther compared to the bullet start or the bunch start. So, but it is closer compared to the elongated start. Okay, we have the number 3. Number 3 is the elongated start, or sometimes they call it the long start. The third type of sprint start is called the elongated start. The sprinter has their knee of the back leg level or slightly behind the front foot's heel. The toe-to-toe distance is 60 to 70 centimeters. So, yung kanginang medium start natin or middle start natin is only have 40 to 55 centimeters. In this start, your feet are spread out farther than the other two. Your back leg is stretched or elongated behind you. That's why it is called as elongated start. Choosing between one of the 3 crouch starts is based on personal preference. So, depende na yan dun sa athlete kung ano ang pipiliin niyang klaseng start. The short start is more commonly used with having a purpose of quick reaction, but not as much as power will be released when starting. So, if you want to have a quick reaction, you may use the bullet or the bunch start. The elongated one generates more power in start, but the reaction won't be as quick. Hindi siya ganun kabilis yung reaction niya compared to the bullet start. Pero, ang elongated start will have more energy to release kapag yun ang gagamitin mong klaseng start. The medium start is the middle ground between those two. Any of these are acceptable as a start in short distance running. It will be based on the preference of the athlete. Okay, since we are talking about the different types of crouch starts, dito natin siya magagamit sa running event. And on the running event, we have the sprint. At athletic events, it is usually the sprints which are run over 60 meters, 200 meters, and 400 meters. So, or yung 60 meters, pwedeng i-convert into 100 meters. As we have mentioned a while ago, if it is indoor, then we will be using the 60-meter sprint. If it is outdoor, we use the 100-meter sprint. Now, for the equipment, sprinters wear an aerodynamically efficient Lycra bodysuit and very light shoes that feature spikes up to 3.8 inches or 9 millimeter long and a thin sole, which improves the competitor's feel for track. So, ibig sabihin, since light lang siya, mas mabilis din yung galaw ng mga sprinter natin. Starting blocks allow athletes to drive forward powerfully at the starter's gun and to begin in the race in the best position to achieve maximum acceleration. Ayun. So, yung blocks yung ginagamit natin sa starting point kung saan nakaposition yung ating mga sprinter o yung ating mga runner. So, dun sa ating race phase, pag sinabi natin on your marks, the sprinter crouches on one knee, feet on the pedal of the block. So, nakaluhod siya sa isang tuhod niya, and then yung both feet niya should be at the pedal of the blocks, kung saan naka-position na siya, kung saan pwede siyang bumelo. Then the fingers form a high bridge. So, mataas. Halimbawa, ito yung ground. So, high bridge siya. Yan. With the hands slightly more than shoulder width apart. So, kung itong shoulder mo, so mas maluwang siya ng konti. So, that will be your position kapag sinabing on your marks. Pag sinabi namang set, at the command of set, the hips are raised a little higher than the shoulders. So, yan yung medyo yung hips mo or yung likod na katawan mo is pag-elevate na siya. So, parang nakatuwad ka na. So, the shoulders are directly above or slightly in front of the hand. So, ibig sabihin, kung ito yung mo, pwedeng pantay siya or pwedeng medyo naka-forward na siya yung shoulder mo. So, that would be your position on the command of set. And then go on the starter's gun, the sprinter explodes out of starting block. That's the time na mag-explode ka na to run. So that is the race phase of our athletes in the sprint. And then let's talk about the sprint distances. So there are 4 sprint distances. Number 1 is the 60-meter sprint, which is usually run indoors. It favors runners with electrifying speed but not necessarily high endurance. So maganda dito sa 60-meter sprints, hindi kailangan mataas ang endurance ng isang atleta. Ang importante mabilis lang siya kasi very malapit lang, very near. Malapit lang yung distance naman na kailangan niyang takbuhin. So, the 100 meters rewards sprinters who can quickly achieve and then maintain maximum speed. So, just like 60 meters, so pag sa 100 meters, ganun din lang. Hindi siya more of the endurance. It's more of the speed ang kaniyang ang magandang quality ng isang sprinter. So, for 200 meters runners naman, have all the skills of a 100 runner with additional ability to manage centrifugal forces when rounding the bend. So, hindi lang basta kailangan niya ng speed, but of course, kailangan niya rin ng endurance, ng konting endurance because mas mahaba na yung tatakbuhin niya kasi dinoble mo na yung 100 meters. And then, the last one is the 400 meters, which is the most grueling of all the sports kasi ito yung medyo nakakapagod. Bukod sa kailangan mo ng mabilis, so kailangan mo rin talaga ng endurance at kaya mong i-sustain yung energy or yung power and yung endurance and even yung speed mo hanggang sa matapos mo yung hanggang ma-reach mo yung yung end. Ayan. So, yun. So, again, those are the 4 sprint distances. The 60 meters, 100 meters, 200 meters, and the 400 meters. Kung meron tayong sprint, ito kasi yung sprint, yun yung mga short distance eh. So, kung meron tayong sprint, meron din tayong middle distance events. So, ano itong mga to? The most common middle events are the 800 meters and the 1,500 meters with steeplechasing also regularly included. So, steeplechasing meron siya. Many athletes compete in both the 800 meters and the 1,500 meters as the training and physical requirements are similar. So, pareho siya ng requirements sa 800 and 1,500 meters. It requires a lot of stamina and endurance in order for you to play this kind of sports. So, tactics play a part in these races, which are often won or lost in the last few feet. Middle distance races have always been among the core events of the Olympics and all athletics championships. As I have mentioned a while ago, pwede ka kahit dun sa few feet, yung konti na lang, yung malapit na sa finish line, pwede ka pang matalo. Just like what happened during the SEA Games, na kung saan humabol na lang yung Philippines. Dun sa parang last laps na lang siya nakahabol. Talagang pinilit niya para in order to get the first place. So later I will show you that particular video when the Philippines won the first place and be able to surpass yung nanguna, the front runner of that event during that time. In the 800 meters, runners complete 2 laps, 2 ikot. 800 meters, as I mentioned a while ago, ang isang laps kasi is 400 meters, diba? Yun yung circumference nung ating track and field arena. So, they start from staggered positions along the track and have to stay in their starting lane until the end of the first curve. So, yung first curve, ikot na ganon, and then, tsaka kayo pwedeng gumilid na. So, at the first position, so, may kanya-kanya pa kayong lane. Then, after the first curve, yung makaikot kayo dun sa track, then that's the time na pwede na kayong gumilid. You stay away from your lane para mas mabilis ka nang tumakbo. Okay. And then, the 800 meters requires speed and endurance. So, competitors plan their race and use carefully considered and practice tactics. So, kailangan mo kasi mag-strategize dyan. Hindi pwedeng ubusin mo kaagad yung energy mo from first 100 meters. Hindi pwede kasi you have to run until 800 meters. And hanggang matapos mo yun at hanggang umabot ka sa finish line, kailangan meron ka pa rin endurance. You have to sustain the stamina and the speed. The 1,500 meters event consists of 3 3/4 laps around the standard outdoor track and is event called the metric mile. So isipin mo na lang 800 plus 700. So parang halos 3 3/4 laps, parang gana. With an increasingly scientific approach to performance training, runners have been able to make this race an extended sprint. However, like the 800 meters, the 1,500 meters remains very mentally taxing. Mentally taxing because you really have to strategize. Kasi titingnan mo kung ano din yung mga galawan ng iyong mga competitors, di ba? Kasi pwedeng sa umpisa lang nagpapahuli, pero at the end, doon niya na ilalabas lahat ng energy niya. Meron din yun naman na talagang binubuhos na umpisa pa lang para magkaroon na siya ng anong tawag dito, distansya from among the other athletes. Gano'n. So, iba-iba silang diskarte. And then, doon naman sa steeplechase, usually 3,000 meters yan. The steeplechase includes 35 jumps, 7 of which are water jumps. So, kailangan mong dun sa bar, meron kang tatalunan na bar, and then merong water kang babagsakan. So, usually, ang ginagawa ng mga as much as possible, kung kaya naman nilang talunan na hindi sila mabasa ng tubig. So, yung ginagawa ng ating mga athletes, kasi alam nyo naman, kapag nagbasa ng tubig ang inyong mga paa, mas mabigat at mas babagal ka. So, normally, 4 barriers are placed around the track with the water jump. The 5th barrier at the top of the second turn, either to the inside of lane 1 or to the outside of the outermost lane. So, yun yung mga kinilalagyan ng ating barriers. Runners start jumping them after the first half lap. They must be cleared cleanly by jumping, stepping on and over or vaulting. So, diskarte yan ng athletes kung katulad sabi ko na kung lalagpasan nila yung kung matalunan nila over. So, we are done with sprint and then middle distance running. Now, we go to long distance running events. So, this includes 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters races, cross-country running and marathons. The 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters runs and the marathons are Olympic events. So, syempre hindi naman natin gagawin niya kasi especially cross-country, hindi naman tayo pwede mag-cross-country. The runs take place on a stadium track while the marathon route is staged around the streets of the host city. So, pwede din ang iniikutan nila is buong city or buong bansa, ganon. And then some 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters races are held off-road, in which case they are usually known as 5 kilometers and 10 kilometers run. So, sobrang layo na yan. Ito yung sa oval track naman. Sa oval track, ito long distance. Ito yung ginaganap sa oval track. In 5,000 meters and 10,000 meter races, the competitors start off on a slightly curved line across the track but soon move to the inside lane to minimize the total distance they have to run. One lap around the track equals 400 meters, diba, yung circumference niya. Consequently, in the 5,000 events, the athletes must run 200 meters. The start line is nearly 200 meters starts. And then 12 complete laps, so 12 na rounds. In the 10,000 meter events, the competitors run 25 times around the track. So, 25 laps. So, both races finish at the same lane. Yung sa curve, kung saan siya nag-start. Yun. So, that is a 5,000 and 10,000 meter races, which is part of the long distance running na ginaganap or ginagawa sa track. Whether running a cross-country race, a marathon on city streets, or a long-distance track event, athletes face familiar physical and mental challenges but need somewhat different equipment. Staying adequately hydrated for the duration of the course is an absolute necessity. So, kailangan hydrated sila. Hindi sila pwedeng matuyuan ng tubig sa katawan. It is also crucial to provide as much comfort as possible for the fit, since blisters or other skin discomfort can cause a runner to retire from a race. So, yon, napaka-importante talaga na hydrated sila. Di ba, kung napapansin nyo, especially sa mga cross-country or dun sa mga city streets na mga tumatakbo, meron yung mga nag-aabot sa kanila ng mga water. So, yan is part of the equipment that they need in order for them to race well in that particular sport. Sa cross-country, from the word cross-country, it runs, it take place off-road. Diba? Over all sorts of terrain, including grass, mud, and even water, yan, sinusuong talaga nila yan. Maputik man, or sementado man, or madamo, yon, kahit sa tubig, sinusuong nila yan. There's no fixed length for cross-country running. Sa marathon naman, marathons are run on roads over a course 26 miles and 385 yards or 42.2 kilometers long. At the Olympic Games, the race ends in the stadium. The men's marathon is traditionally the last event of the athletic calendar and is sometimes incorporated into the closing ceremony. So, usually kapag may mga athletic events, like for example, SEA Games, mga ganyan. So, sa track and field, din yung event na pinaka-dinudulo nila, hinuli nila. So, usually sa closing ceremony na siya ginaganap. So, the marathon was held at the first modern Olympics in Athens in 1896. So, that's a time when it was being launched, where the course was only 24.85 miles or 40 kilometers long. So, 40 kilometers long pa lang noon, hindi pa 42.2 kilometers long. So, ibig sabihin, mas shorter yung distance before. That was set at today's distance during the 1924 games. But during the 1924 games, ibig sabihin, ginawa na rin siyang 42.2 kilometers long. Okay, so guys, that is going to be the first lecture video, the first part of our lecture video. So it is more on the track and field, specifically on the running events. So yan ang magiging activities natin. So please do not forget to comment down below whatever queries that you have or any response on the video that we made. So thank you for watching, guys, and God bless everyone.